wow, so much work in there. And I go, yes, it is. But
yeah.
it's good to have it. Oh, we're streaming now, Paul. Woohoo.
Ooh. Okay, well, look, welcome back. It's been a long time. It's been 8 months since Sally and I went live, and
Wow.
a lot has happened. And as you can see, Sally's wearing this beautiful bright clothing, and behind her, she's got. Oh, I'm doing the same thing as well. She's got all of these clothing ranges, and she's been very, very busy with the clothing range. So now, today, what we're going to talk about is navigating through tough times. And, over the last year or so, we've had 12 interest rate increases in the last 13 months, actually 40 months now, because it didn't go up yesterday. But I know my mortgage has gone up 25%.
That's
And when you think of it, your mortgage is in Australia, your mortgage is your biggest expense. So your biggest expense has gone up 25%. It's crazy. It's outrageous.
yeah.
And that's on top of, we have taco night every Saturday night, because my oldest boy, he has to have his tacos every Saturday night. It's doubled in price just getting the tacos, So it's been a tough time. Petrol's gone through the roof. Everything's gone through the roof. So we're going to discuss navigating through those hard times. But before we do, tell us a little bit about your clothing range and where you are and what you've been doing, because that's such an exciting
I know, head
project.
down, bum up. So long story short, it was because of you that I came up with this idea. When we started our mastermind, and it was Joe Vitale's book, Manifesting Money or something like that. That's where it all came from. When you and I were reading books, and I binged this book that you said, you got to listen to this book, Sal. So that's what I did. And it was about how to manifest money. And the last chapter in the book said, the way to monetize is to just follow whatever you're passionate about. And I thought, okay, well, what am I passionate about? I love working out and workshopping life every day with my girlfriends, and then walking out in nature, listening to empowering books, which is where we have something in common. And so I thought, well, how do you monetize that? And I thought, the women that I work out with in workshop life are really strong, capable women who have got all this wisdom, but we're aging gracefully. So all our kids are at that teenage years, and they know it all, and they don't need any guidance. They don't need to be told stuff. And I thought, well, we've got all of this wisdom inside of ourselves. Why don't we empower ourselves? So by the end of the next day, I'd registered this business called Empowered Clothing, and it's about dressing with intent and getting into the driver's seat of your own energy. And so that's what I came up with, utilizing the power of color, because every color has its own energy, tapping into your own chakra centers, so your energy bodies, and then combining that with powerful affirmations and statements, and utilizing the healing properties of crystals. So putting all of that in a practical way. You get dressed every day, so why not dress with intent and dress more powerfully for the day ahead? And here we are, well, it's not quite a year later, and I've got a chakra range of clothing, and it's in 7 colors for the main chakras, in long sleeves and short sleeveless racerback tops. And here we go, and I'm just about to launch. So yeah, it's all up and running. So there you go. It was all because of you, Paul, because we started that mastermind group. And, if you think outside the box, because you're only limited by your imagination and your budget, and then your budget, you can manifest that in. It's amazing. So there's something about this group that just magic happens when you allow yourself to let go and just allow magic to come in. It's incredible.
Look, it's absolutely incredible, and I've been watching you the whole process, the whole journey, because you and I are part of a few different groups, and we're based in Australia. You've got Australian made. You've gone through all the unions. Just tell us about how much of a learning process you've gone through.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, first of all, I didn't realize that the fashion industry is the second or third most wasteful industry in the world. The most wasteful, like it's ridiculous. And, when you produce offshore, there's such a high it's so expensive now with exchange rates and shipping costs, but also the fault rate. Like I think 25% of garments made overseas are faulty. Like it's huge. And so one of my core values was that boosting up the economy back here, so making something Australia made. And luckily I've got it made in Melbourne. And so now I've also got accreditation with Made in Australia, but also ethical clothing Australia, because to me that's really important. Is that the workers, it's not in sweatshops, that everyone's paid fairly, like it's all done properly. Because after COVID, particularly from Melbourne, it's just like, let's boost this economy back up. Like we've got the biggest debt in Melbourne of Australia post-COVID. Like our taxes are through the roof. And this is how we started this conversation the other day. The cost of living is so much now. And how does the average punter get on? And, what can we do? Because you were talking about your increase in mortgage of 25%. I was talking about the increase in life insurance. That's gone through the roof. Home insurance, insurances in general are like crazy. Went to the dentist this week. That was like so expensive. And then just the last couple of days, been helping my girlfriend with
Right.
a dog who in the end we had to put down. Even I couldn't believe it. I haven't had my dogs for a couple of years now, but now you don't go in about the health of the dog. The first question is, right, can you pay this amount? Can you give us a deposit of 50%? We just put the dog in for 12 hours. It's literally per hour. It was $1,000 deposit. And then I had a client the other day who said their friends went to the vet in one day. It was $7,000, and then the dog was put to sleep anyway. So things are expensive. It's really expensive these days.
Yeah, I think that's why I stuck to fish. There are a lot.
Oh, you don't have to get fish insurance, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, look, the one fish we did have, look, you could tell it was going to die, and we went to the pet shop and we asked what we could do, and the pet shop said there's nothing you can do. If you want to make it quicker and humane, you can put it in the freezer and it'll just die quicker. But we couldn't do that, so eventually just passed. No.
Oh man.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about navigating through the tough times, right? What are you doing to actually get through these tough times?
To be perfectly honest, I'm going back to basics, and I'm finding that's really fulfilling. I think through COVID, a lot of people realized they didn't need to eat out all the time and enjoy just getting the takeaways if they wanted something special. But a number of my clients said, I can't believe how much money I saved from not going out, from their lifestyle of lunches and dinners and things. I mean, that was never my big scene anyway, but I don't know, just like I've grown some veggies, growing some herbs, and just when you get back to basics, good homegrown food, or, fresh fruit and veggies, and rather than all the packet stuff, not that I was ever into that, but you end up saving so much money. It's ridiculous. And also making my diet lighter, less meat. I was just saying before, I was on a retreat 2 weeks ago in Thailand, and it was just juice and veggies and fruit. But I didn't realize how heavy meat and a lot of food is on your digestion, and how much better I felt. And, that dense food takes a long time to break down and to digest. So, making the diet lighter is also saves you a lot of money when you're not eating so much meat. Not that I haven't eaten red meat for a long time, but I was having a bit of chicken. Well, cut that out completely, and I'm feeling better, not from the heavy food all the time. And that's saving a fortune. You look at the cost of meat in the supermarkets these days, it's crazy. And when I had a look in the most wasteful industries, farming was top of the list with all the livestock. And it was, well, that was because of the emissions, but still, as you said, we're a growing population. How can we sustain all of this? So you're changing your diet, I think, and the way that when you look at how you spend your day, where is your hand going for and what's it going for? Are you buying takeaway coffees? Are you buying juices? Are you buying all the little things add up a fortune? Like I used to buy Tats Lotto tickets. Well, that's gone because, what are the odds on that? And that was $20-30 a week. And I let that go. And that was a good saving. And all of a sudden you're saving $200 a week from just incidentals and things that you can do at home rather than buying convenient stuff. I think, if you've got time for prepping, that really helps. But just reviewing your diet and looking, do I really need that? Because when you start to cut back on what you putting into your mouth, you'd soon realize that your body doesn't need as much as you're giving it. You know, we eat to live, not live to eat. Do you know what I mean? So it's just shifting. Little things can have great impact. Say if you save $200 a week, what's that? 800 a month, and then whatever that is a year. It's a few grand. It makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's almost 10 grand, which is
Okay, you work that out.
it's more than 10 grand, because it's $100 a week is 5,200 times two, $10,400.
Over 10 grand.
So
10 grand. Like that's
10 grand could be your holiday, you know.
Yeah.
Or 10 grand
That's
could be a good investment. But you know, it's interesting that you're talking about the foods aspect. You know, it is so expensive to go out shopping. It's expensive the meat has gone through the roof. But I mean, I remember when lettuce went for $10. Remember that?
Oh, that was crazy. Yeah, and broccoli.
I actually went and grew some in the backyard. There's nothing growing now, but it took a little bit longer. But $10 for one lettuce. And some of the things that you just see how expensive they are. So I think one of the things that I'm getting from you is to just plan ahead. And you know, if there is something that is on special, maybe it's a good idea to get that while it's on special, because next week it's not going to be on special. But if you've got 2 weeks supply, you don't have to go out and spend that extra money.
Yeah. And I think, you know, one thing that I've really reviewed is my priority list. What is important? And, you know, and peeling that back and focusing, like, to me, travel is an important component for my mental health. So focusing on a little bit of saving every week towards travel, because that's something that I need to reset, recharge, whatever. And so if it means cutting back on, I don't know, I went to the pictures the first time the other day, and then just by joining Village, for example, which is free to get points, it saved like nearly $10 a ticket. They're like, you know, things that I'm not restricting myself, but I'm also being smart about stuff, but also focusing on what's important. So, you know, rather than driving my car to the park, I keep my car here and I walk a different path, so that it's just, because petrol super duper expensive, and just to go to my park, it's a 15-minute drive. So then that's a half hour. So if I just don't do that, so it's doing things differently and focusing on what's important. So I still, exercise to me is a non-negotiable, but I'm doing it in different ways.
Yeah, well, the petrol thing, what I've actually done is I bought myself an electric scooter. And,
that's right. Oh, you got to post this.
Actually, I'm Ray, you know Ray Truthway, in New Zealand. I caught up with him a week ago, and I had my scooter because, firstly, for me to go up to the station in the scooter, it would take about as long as it would if I was to drive, find parking, then walk to the station, get on. And then I'll take the scooter with me into the CBD, and you scooter around. You can go from one side of the city to the other really fast. One thing I do, if it's going to peak hour traffic, I'll actually go, or I might even go as far as King's Cross Station, because that's my line, right?
Yeah.
So that I can get ahead of all the crowds. So it's great fun having the scooter, but it saves you on time, all the traffic hassles. And yeah, I'm catching a train more often now as well. So that's one thing I've done in order to keep, because, you know, for me to drive into the CBD and using the tolls, and I'm probably about, I don't know, 15 kilometers from the center of the city, there's a toll that's $8.
Whoa.
Right? The Eastern District, it's just $8. That's the first toll. If I want to go to my parents, which is on the other side, I've got to pay another 2 tolls or something along the way. And they're probably about 20 kilometers from the city. Not even that, they're probably about the same side, the other side of the city. So the tolls hit you a lot, and they're going up every year because it's indexed to inflation. So tolls are going up, petrol's gone up, food's gone up. even my phone bill, my mobile phone used to be
Yep.
$25, and I had to set on that plan for a long time. Guess what? It's now $34, and so that's a big increase as a percentage, it's
Yep.
a few dollars. So everything's going up. I think I got my water bill or electricity bill or something like that. They're talking about the increase in rates as well. So
Oh, goodness.
so we're in an environment where things are, or your dollar doesn't go as far as it used to. So one of the ways I'm actually attacking this is to actually bring in more dollars because I
Yeah.
have to.
Yep.
And so, and that's for those of you that remember the Think and Grow Rich, how we study Think and Grow Rich and all the learnings from that. Such a powerful book to go through and learn. And when I first did this way back in 2000, when I started the business, I didn't know what was going on in the background. I just did, and it just worked, right?
Mm.
And after a while, the money started flowing. It was really great. But then something happened, and I lost all confidence in that. And it was only since Think and Grow Rich and studying that and realizing that you've got to, firstly, in order to attract more money, you've got to step out of your comfort zone. You've got to go into somewhere where you don't know about, because if you knew about it, you would already be there. So you've got to trust in the unknown. Yeah, absolutely. With you and your clothes, I'm so proud of what you've done. But you've really just got to trust in the unknown and then just trust that it's going to flow to you. So what you put out, now this is your favorite saying is, what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah. Yeah. Where your attention goes, your energy flows, right? So what are
That's
you
the one,
choosing
yeah.
on? And this is another aspect that we were talking about with our bills, and all of the outgoings are really high, but instead of going, oh no, another bill, it's another 10 grand or it's 5 grand or whatever it is, have gratitude, shift your perception around it. Like, I am so grateful that I'm paying this power bill because it means that I got power. I mean, it sounds cheesy, but it's actually shifting your energy around it. So rather than being caught on the dark side, in that shadow side around it, all the negativity, tip it into the lightness of, like, I am so grateful that I've got the power, or I'm so grateful that I've got my car, or I'm so grateful that I've got this house that I'm living in that houses my family. It does help shift it, and it's not cheesy. The more we can sit into the positivity and the gratitude around everything. The other thing I was going to say is that, we've got the ingoings and we've got the outgoings, and you were talking about, bringing in more money, and that's very much what you were just saying, manifesting it, or doing things differently. But with the outgoings, I got sort of 3 tips around it: review, reset, and reassess. So review, look, what I found really handy, I did at Christmas time, was to do a spreadsheet of all of my costs. Like, where did I spend all of my money? And it very quickly gives you an idea of how much you're spending each day and where the majority of your money is going. And I found it very handy and then I started to curb my behavior based on that. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I know a lot of people spend a lot of money on coffees during the day. Little things that you can tweak. Then reset, focus on what's important. Like I was saying, travel to me is important. So make that a priority for a spend or a saving, putting every week, I put $100 away. So it'll eventually give me enough for a holiday. But also, focus on what's important. Is it going out 4 times a week, or having takeaway 5 times a week, or whatever, or just having it one time with that money saving and putting that towards something that's important? And then the reassess, what can you do things differently? Reassess your mindset around how you're approaching these bills and the costs, and find some positives out of it. Be a Pollyanna. I'm so grateful for what, because it helps you shift you back into the present moment of, I'm so, for today, I am so grateful. I've got a roof over my head, that I paid the rent, that, I've got the car, my kids are at school, and we've got meal on the table, whatever. It just helps when we're starting to stress out, because some of the big whopping bills, like you said, mortgage going up 25% is not easy. That's, it's hard. And then, down the track, there might be, do I need this big house? Do I need something smaller? I don't know. But it's just, reassessing where you're at the moment. Just little things. The spreadsheet was a game changer for me, Paul. You probably do it with your clients, but you can see where your spend is and how much you're spending in a year. It's quite frightening.
Yeah, I like to call it the money audit. And I know when I did it, I don't know how many years ago, you can just get yourself a little notebook. And
Yeah.
then every time you spend, or even now on your mobile phone, you can just do, you could probably download an app. I'm sure there's apps. So if anybody knows of an app,
Lucky
just throw
Bitch
it in
has
there.
money tracker. The Get Rich Lucky Bitch, Denise Duffield Thomas,
Yeah,
she has a money tracker, and that's really handy. Every time you come in, when it's unexpected, you can put it in, and it really does help. And setting projections for each month, and it's amazing how you surpass them with money coming in with unexpected income. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah. So, so it's such a powerful thing to do. It's I love it. It reminds me of a story. About 20 years ago, I had a client of mine who had filed for bankruptcy. She goes, my expenses are just so much that I can't do it.
Mm.
I said, okay. I said, well, no, and we're sitting there, and she's got one of these coffees, right? Now the coffees nowadays are a lot more than what they were back then. But she said, no, I can't live without my coffee. She's got to have 2 or 3 coffees a day. And had she been smarter, and instead of going and spending all that money on a latte or whatever it was, or a cappuccino,
Yeah.
if she just turned around and said, okay, well, let's just get this under control, let's be responsible, because part of attracting money is being responsible, right?
Mhm.
Respond with ability. She wasn't responding with ability. She was just there, I'm going to have my coffee, I don't care. So that's such a powerful thing. So the money audit, wow, what a great suggestion to do. And you
Yeah.
will find things that you go, you know what? I, if I have to have one cappuccino, I'll have that one. It'll cost me the $5 or whatever, and then the rest of the day I'll just go and get the instant stuff until everything's sorted out.
Yeah.
And then if you drink enough of the instant stuff, you'll probably stop drinking coffee altogether.
That's how I got off coffee, early 90s, because it was International Roast. But yeah, I had a girlfriend living with me a few years back, and I was going out to Laurent, which is an expensive cafe, to get her coffees, 3 or 4 a day, and it was well over $20. And in the end, and I don't drink coffee, but I got the Audi machine, and she goes, no, nothing will measure up. And she's loved the Audi coffee ever since. And it
Yeah,
costs you a fraction of the price with those little capsules. But
yeah,
then, yeah, so I love that. Respond with ability. Is that what you said?
yeah,
Responsibility. Yeah,
yeah.
love that.
Respond. Well, that's what response ability. Respond
Mm,
with ability. It's
mm,
like mortgage. You know what
mm.
mortgage stands for?
I know.
Mort, death, gauge. A
Oh
gauge
my
of death,
God, I love
and
it.
debt till death.
Yeah,
So
wow.
there's a
Wow.
lot of things out there in that's right in front of us that we just totally aren't aware of.
Yeah,
And that's part of the problem. Mortgage means in debt or death.
yeah.
And for most people, that's the reality,
Mm,
and all of that. The other thing that we were that you were talking about, and that I think the two most powerful things that you've hit on right in about 5 minutes ago was the order, but the other one was your mindset. What you
mm,
put out is what you get back.
yeah.
If you can change that instead of, oh no, not another bill. I
Mm.
remember reading a book years ago where somebody, and this was when you remember checks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And this is more American than in Australia, but on the back of the check, they would just always write thank you, because it was a way of being grateful for being able
Yeah,
to have what they have.
yeah, yeah. And it's interesting with changing times, everything's electronic money now. So you don't even have that sensation of, you know, getting it in and then putting it out. It's all just into electronic transfer, and it's lost its touch and feel of the money. One thing I was going to say, one thing that really gets people is, and they don't realize, automatic deductions with subscriptions and stuff. So you might
Yeah.
have your Netflix, you might have your Prime Video, and you might have your, I don't know, Stan or whatever it is, and then this other deduction and that deduction. When you go through and do that money audit, you realize how much is being deducted out of your account every month, and that adds up. Can you let go of some of these things? If you haven't
Well,
watched
do you
Stan,
need Stan, and do you need Netflix, and do you need Disney Channel?
yeah,
You
yeah,
probably
yeah.
only need one of them.
Yeah. I remember when I moved house and Foxtel, I had a Foxtel, oh no, Telstra team to help you move. And the woman said to me, oh, no, don't do Foxtel again. She said, you just get the app. So I've got Google Chrome and I don't do Foxtel anymore. But she said, if you want to watch movies, just, pay for that for the month if it's in school holidays, for example, and just get what you need and just pay for it at the time. So I saved $125 a month from not having Foxtel to just having Google Chrome, and just $10 for Netflix and $10 for this and that. I don't watch any Fox channels because most of them are through Binge or all the other streaming services as well. So there's being smart, and it's just like doing a spring cleaning of your spending in your accounts, right?
Yeah. Well, and I love the idea of going through your automate, because you don't realize, just every month there's another hit on your credit card. And if you're not on top of it, before you know it, you've got 5, 10 different things. Now, if everything's just, even if it's just $10 each, that's $100 gone.
Yeah, totally.
All right. So look, we're going to keep this down to about half an hour. So, yep, we're up to about half an hour. So, any last thoughts, Sally?
No, I just think down here in Melbourne, and I know in Sydney it's been really sunny. Spring has sprung, and let's just do a bit of spring cleaning and go through our accounts, because it is tough times at the moment and it's not going to get any easier, and just see where we can cut back, fine tune. And as I said, review, reset and reassess of your outgoings and see what you can tweak. It's just little tweaks make a huge difference. As we said, if you can save $200 a week, that's over 10 grand a year. I mean, gosh, can you imagine that? Imagine that could be your holiday fund with your kids at the end of the year. So, if you look and see if you can cut back $100 to $200 a week, and that's 5 to 10 grand that you've got for Christmas. There you go, easy.
Oh, fantastic. I love the wisdom over there. So that's brilliant news. For me, mine is all about mindset. So, as you said, think positive. So how can I afford it rather than I can't afford it, that kind of thing. And with that, thank you for your time today, and congratulations on the clothing range. I just love the colors in the background. It's amazing.
I'm just starting a men's range too, so that'll be fun. Watch this.
And you downplayed it. I mean, the fabric you're using, it's bamboo.
Oh, yeah, it's all sustainably sourced. It's such good quality from Queensland, and it just feels so beautiful. And bamboo is such a good workout fabric because it's got this moisture wicking, so it doesn't stick to you, and it's also very good. It doesn't get smelly because it's got antimicrobial properties. So it's a perfect workout gear. I've been wearing it now since I've got the samples for a couple of months, and I tell you, I'm in love. It feels soft, luxe, it's stylish in a minute, right? And it's just doesn't smell, and it doesn't stick to you when you get sweaty. It's fantastic fabric. It's really good and better on the environment.
And the other thing you didn't mention is with anybody that does purchase anything, a little crystal comes with it. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. You get a little, I've got it in my pocket. There's a little pocket down the side so that you can, because as I said, it's the power of the colors, the energy in the power, but you also get an associated chakra crystal. So this is, and they're all in the shape of a heart. Yeah, I've spent over $5,000 on crystals. But so this is red jasper. So you get a little postcard which explains the healing properties out of each of the crystals that come with each of the tops. So each color has a different colored crystal. So like rose quartz with a heart, amethyst with a crown. And so that you can really enhance those properties, because what you focus on becomes reality, right? So I used to stick them down my boobage, and I thought, well, I can't sell it like that. So I've created a little pocket that's sewn into the side of your top to wear your crystals so that you really can step into that power, right? You know how when you touch something, you're looking at it, you can feel it. Yeah, so that's what it's all about. But stay tuned. We'll share the link when we're live.
Oh, look, I mean, I think we're going to do this a little bit more often now, now that we've got a bit more time. And look, I thank you for your time, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, see you later. Enjoy the sunshine.
All right then.